is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Hum Baby Baseball channel. We're sticking in the National League West. We got to talk about the Colorado Rockies, a team that started hot in 2020, 11-3, and then they fell apart. And they ended up 26-34. The bullpen couldn't hold leads. The pitching wasn't good, and even the big bats struggled. And things weren't looking great in Denver. But going into 21, with the Dodgers and Padres stacking up, with the Giants trying to continue, had a pretty good year last year. With the D-backs, decent, as I just talked about yesterday. Now you have the Rockies trading away Nolan Arenado for Austin Gomber, some mid-tier prospects. Doesn't seem like that's going to improve their chances much at all. So, still got some decent names. Let's take a look at this team. Here are some of the newcomers for 21. Derek Rodriguez, former San Francisco Giant. He ended up with the Tigers organization, didn't even play for them, and now he is with the Rockies. Robert Stevenson, nice little trade there, and he had some decent stuff in the past, but did not pitch well in 2020. And like I said, Austin Gomber, good young talent. CJ Cron has got some pop, keeps that batting average, decent, mid-200s usually. And one of the most exciting pickups, nice job by grabbing Jordan Sheffield, Rule 5 draft from the Dodgers, and this is a first-round pick from 2016. He has struggled with his control in the minor leagues, though. Has a 10.2 strikeout rate. In Double-A Tulsa in 2019, he walked 32 batters in 37 innings. That is not good, but his ERA was still 3.58. He struck out 48 batters. So, he's got the stuff. He's just got to, hone his skills, get his control better, and then we'll see what he can do. But nice pickup there to be able to grab a first-round pick out of the Dodgers organization in Jordan Sheffield. But that's pretty much all the additions. There hasn't been a lot of action for the Rockies, like I said, and we'll see, what they can do. But let's check out this lineup, and the lineup was the one thing they had going for them going into 2020, a very strong-looking lineup, but this season, obviously, it's going to be not quite as good when you take away one of the best players in the game in Arenado. But let's take a look at it anyway. You got Raimel Tapia. He looked a lot better last year. He improved his chase rate. He hit 321. He's not going to walk a lot. He's not going to hit a bunch of home runs, but he has speed. He's just 27. He can continue to improve. Trevor Story, one of the best shortstops in the game. So you still got Trevor Story, and he's only gotten better over his career. He strikes out less. He makes a consistent hard contact. He can also fly. He led the league in steals and in triples. And he is going to be great for the Rockies if they don't trade him away or something. So you got Story. You got Blackmon. He can rake when he's on, and especially at Coors. He just tears it up at Coors Field. He was hitting over 400 for a large part of 2020 until he kind of fell into a slump the rest of the way. Ended up still at 303. He's going to hit you close, if not over 300. He's going to hit you 30-plus home runs. He's going to have an on-base percentage of at least 350. And then Ryan McMahon, another guy who can smash the ball. He strikes out a little too much. He hits a lot of ground balls. But he should be good for 25 home runs and 80 RBI with at least average to good defense at second base or possibly third base. I'm not exactly sure how they are going to line up in the infield, but without Arenado now, we'll see. But decent defense there. Josh Fuentes hit over 300 in 2020. He's looking to do big things in his first full season. He can absolutely crush off-speed stuff, even when it's not hanging. One weird thing is in 54 games on 153 career at-bats, he has a grand total of 3 walks. So that's not great, as far as on-base goes. But, he can hit the ball hard, like I said. Elias Diaz named minor league top defensive catcher, and he was good in 2018 offensively, hitting 286 with 10 homers with the Pirates in 250 at-bats. But hasn't repeated that performance, and I don't think he's going to. So, we'll see, though. He's got potential, but you also have Dom Nunez, homegrown catcher with some pop as well. Nice backup, and can obviously start on occasion. So, that's catcher. And then Sam Hilliard should get plenty of starts. Powerful, quick, needs to cut down on the strikeouts as well. But, in 2019, let's just say between MLB and AAA, he hit 42 home runs. So that's all you need to know about his potential. Ian Desmond opted out again. So we'll also see Garrett Hampson, who will play a little bit of second, a little bit of outfield. And he really struggled in 2020, struck out 60 times and 167 at-bats with just a 234 average. And finally, Brendan Rodgers will get his opportunity in 21. He will play some of third, some other infield positions, second base and whatnot. But he has 300 average potential, 25 plus, maybe 30 home run potential. But he's only shown flashes of what the Rockies want from him so far in his big league career. He's dealt with injuries, and you know, it's a first-round pick. He is their guy. He has got to come through in 21 if the Rockies want to be relevant at all. They need Brendan Rodgers to have his breakthrough season. So overall, I mean, this lineup, yep, it lost a lot of thump without Arenado, and obviously they lost some other names like David Dahl, Daniel Murphy, but honestly, it's mainly Arenado that they're going to miss. But still some big bats. You still got Story, McMahon, Blackmon, and potentially Rodgers. So, you know, good speed, good defense, but obviously defense hurts without Arenado as well. But the negatives, too many strikeouts in this lineup, not enough on-base ability, unproven talent. Overall, I don't think it's an F or a D, but I don't think it's an A or a B. I'm going to be generous because, I mean, you still got Trevor Story and you still got some really solid names in there. I'm going to give it a C+ for that lineup. Moving on to the starting rotation. German Marquez at the top. Nice hard fastball, good slider, good curve. And in 2020, he had a 2.06 ERA on the road, which is maybe a more accurate indicator for pitchers because obviously at Coors Field, you're not going to have a very good ERA. And he didn't. He struggled at Coors Field. Same thing for pretty much this entire rotation. But then you got Kyle Freeland. He had a decent bounce back season after a horrific 2019. He's got a big arsenal of pitches, but nothing super elite exactly. But, you know, he started mixing in more curves and more changeups, and it seemed to help him last season. So he ended up with a 4.33 ERA. I think that's what you can expect from the guy, 4.5 to 5 ERA if you're lucky. I don't think this is going to be a guy who's going to go out there and just be awesome. Antonio Senzatella is a ground ball guy. He's not going to strike out a ton, but he was great on the road, 2.1 ERA, 3-0 record at home, 2-3, 4.62 ERA. There's the story of a Rockies pitcher. Jon Gray lost his velocity, you know, kind of like Bumgarner. Not as bad as Bumgarner, but he did lose some velocity in 2020, and his strikeout rate went way down, and that's not good. He had a 6.69 ERA in 2020. He's got to figure something out. He's got to be better in 21. And then you got young Austin Gomber. Obviously, he's going to get every opportunity to be in this rotation to try to, you know, justify that trade. And he was solid with the Cardinals last year. He's got good stuff. And there's other options here, as you can see, but not a whole lot of game changers here. You got guys like Ryan Castellani. He walked more hitters than he struck out in 2020. Derek Rodriguez, like I said, another guy with decent stuff. Would love to see him have a bounce back year. Would love to see him pitch well again, but it's been since 2018. So, like this rotation, I mean, shaky. It's shaky. It doesn't seem that well constructed for a team that plays at Coors Field with, you know, you need strikeout guys, I think. I mean, Jon Gray, he is kind of a strikeout guy, but with that velocity drop, that's concerning. Kyle Freeland, his advanced stats don't indicate great things to come. I think he'll be okay. Like I said, around a 4.5 to 5 ERA. Senzatella gives up too much contact to be successful at Coors Field. Overall, I'm not saying there's not any talent here, but for a Rockies rotation, I don't like it. I'm just going to be honest. Got to tell it how it is. I'm going to give it a D. Going to the bullpen, when one of your best options for your closer is a guy who retired 7 years ago, you might have problems. That said, Daniel Bard was a great comeback story. At 35 years old, he comes back throwing high 90s heat, good slider, and if he continues to pitch well, he could be the closer for this team. However, Scott Oberg should be back after a major surgery, missed all of 2020, but he has looked awesome in his career, so could be definitely an option for a closer. And then former O's closer, Michael Givens, also has good stuff. Mid-90s fastball, wipeout slider. And after that, you got Almonte, who's one of the few relievers that actually pitched well for the Rockies in 2020. He keeps contact soft, limits walks. Stevenson, like I said, from the Reds, should help. But he got hit hard last year, but he's got a nice slider as well. Good stuff. So, you know, he's an option. You got some lefties in there, but, you know, to me, the big wild card, it's got to be a guy named Ben Bowden, who has been absolutely filthy in the minor leagues. He struck out 186 minor league batters in 127 innings, and he should make his major league debut in 2021. Other than that, you got guys who have potential, but a lot of control issues. This bullpen, I mean, it should be at least as good, if not better than 2020. Not that it was good in 2020, but there is definitely a lack in reliable and consistent shut down relievers with experience. And yep, I mean, there's enough good arms in here and enough depth to be at least okay. With a team that pitches at Coors Field and plays in Denver like this, I don't think you'll ever have a bullpen with a bunch of, you know, pretty stats. I mean, with a bunch of just amazing statistical guys. But with that in mind, I do think that they are good arms. They're going to pitch well on the road, and the Rockies are going to score a bunch at home as well. So I'm going to give this bullpen a C+ because I like the names. I just don't expect them to be statistically great, but I think that they will keep the Rockies in plenty of games. So I'm going to give the bullpen a C+. So there you have it for the Colorado Rockies, a team with a few nice bats in the lineup, a few good arms in the pen. I am concerned about that rotation for Rockies fans, but other than that, you know, you never know. You never know with this team. But with trading away Arenado, I think the players kind of know that the upper management's not going for anything big this season, and I think that has an effect on the field when the players know, you know, hey, we're not going for anything. It's going to be tough. Obviously, it's a tough division. Padres and Dodgers are insane, and you know, Giants and Diamondbacks I don't think are any slouches either. So Rockies have their work cut out for them. Overall, I'm going to give them a C- because they still have, I mean, they have some solid names, like I said, but overall, it's gonna be tough. But best of luck in 2021 if you're a Rockies fan. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, check out my other previews, and we'll talk to you next time. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's bye bye baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye bye baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.